Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of The World Cup has left us, and in what glory it ended. Scrolling through Twitter, I could see influencers of all different backgrounds go, this was the best World Cup final, or one of the best World Cup finals that they had ever seen. And of course Argentina beat France, and seeing Macron's face switch from this to this has got to be my personal highlight and my reason for supporting Argentina. But what was difficult for other people to digest was what happened when Messi took to the stage. As you can see, the FIFA guy and the Emir of Qatar were there, placing something called a besht onto Messi, which is typically worn by royalty, by warriors, by imams. It's a clothing of honor and something which is representative of Arab culture. I mean, let's face it, with the amount of money that Qatar have spent, even if they got the guy in a headlock, it probably would have been justified. So this was a way of, number one, them honoring the winner. Number two, sharing their culture, humanizing and normalizing a group of people that objectively get demonized in the Western media. And having spent billions, some say like 200 billion, God knows mate, but I think that earns them the right to do something positive for their culture, mate. But the BBC commentators, headed by of course Gary Lineker, and not to mention papers like the Daily Mail, Daily Star, Telegraph, got hella triggered, Let me first deal with the papers. They were using words like bizarre, forced, ruined. And the BBC commentators, just have a listen yourself.
Seems a shame in a way that they've covered up Messi in his Argentina shirt.
Just why? No reason to do that.
So there's two options here, Either they didn't know, which I don't think you can take that opinion, because if you don't know, you ask questions like, why are they putting that there? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? I didn't hear any questions. Did you? Or number two, they did know and they were just being insensitive bigots taking their final dig at Qatar. And the reason I say that is because here is an image of Brazil winning the World Cup and their leader, Pele, being adorned with the Mexican hat. Would these very people be calling it bizarre, forced and ruined? Of course not, mate, because these sorts of things are just reserved for Arabs, Muslims, and let's face it, brown people. And another thing that's worth contemplating on is the Qataris spent billions, billions building stadiums. They sacrificed many in the process of building these stadiums. They invested like 40 billion in the UK just to make sure these mugs would not stab them in the back, which to some degree they did, because the Qataris tried to promote their country on the TfL network, Transport for London, but they rejected it. And is this the same London that has pretty much been bought out by the Qataris? The irony, mate, is palpable. But despite them spending all that money and even compromising some of their basic values, it still wasn't enough, because you had people like the BBC saying, but they don't support LGBT, but they don't support that. So in other words, the only way we're going to support you is if you give up your beliefs, your culture, and you adopt everything. You can't even leave one thing out. Even if you disagree with it, there's no room for that. That's liberalism, guys. That's liberalism in a nutshell. How does this apply to you and me? Don't be ashamed of your religion. Don't hide. Because you might say, I'm not going to pray in front of them. I'm going to go to the pub and order an orange juice. No, it's never going to stop. And to drive this point home, look at what the goalkeeper of Argentina did. And their reaction? They just laughed it off. They didn't call it bizarre, forced. Because I felt that I was forced to watch something. I felt it ruined my time. If I had kids there, I'd feel disgusted. Because that's something that liberalism would just laugh at. How hypersexualization. Pretending that, the award. The first thing that came into this goalkeeper's mind was, hey, a private part.
Sickening human being.
Hey, there are political leaders behind me. Wow, that's weird, mate. That shows that this guy needs psychological help, if that's the first thing that popped into his head. What a weirdo. And another point to drive the point home, as the World Cup ended, they had BBC, they had the highlights, and in the highlights, despite people saying don't politicize football, I mean, you can never say that again. So they ended with a montage that had an LGBTQ song. They showed an Iranian woman's sign. They had the LGBT mouth cover of the German team. They had the BLM knee. But the most celebrated cause, the most celebrated people that are suffering, the Palestinians, there were proclamations of Free Palestine, there were flags in every single match. But the BBC, no, they wouldn't show that, mate. In fact, let me show you their mentality, because it's selective outrage. That's what it is. I mean, you can see this headline first, which is them being honest, and then they changed it because their Zionist handler said, what the heck are you doing, mate? Don't bite the hand that feeds you. So guys, I want to say Alhamdulillah that we had a period of time in which we were able to showcase our religion and show people the beauty of Islam. And a lot of people that went there with an open heart, and some accepted Islam, some left with a reduced bias, but many people have seen the beauty that Muslims have to offer. Let's leave it there. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum.